Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name is Ronan and I make a lot of vlogs and product and tech reviews. And if you've been watching any of my recent videos, you'll know that I got an electric skateboard, and the electric skateboard that I got was this one here, the Meepo V3. And I've made a couple of videos about this already, and I'll leave links to them up here and in the description below. You can check those out if you haven't seen them yet. But today's video I want to talk a little bit about the bushings, because when you buy this board, it comes with these 90A macaroon barrel bushings, so you can kind of see them there. They're the yellow kind of rubber plasticky things just here on the trucks, and they're on both ends of the board. Now, from doing some research on these electric skateboards, I've found that a lot of people and a lot of other users suggest that you actually put stiffer bushings on the back and then leave the 90As on the front. And what that does is it gives you much more stability when you're traveling at speed, but having the lighter bushing on the front still gives you the sort of the carvability and makes the board easier to turn. So when I ordered my V3 from Meepo, it was kind of their flagship board, but from the time that I placed the order to when the board arrived, Meepo actually unveiled the V4 Shuffle. And they say that their new board is their latest and greatest and that kind of thing for kind of general users and the way that I would be using the board. And the configuration on the new board is actually a little bit different to the setup on the V3. With the V4, when you buy it, you actually get 100A macaroon bushings on the back and 92A at the front. So much stiffer at the back and a little bit stiffer at the front. So I ordered those bushings from Meepo and they arrived this morning. Basically, what we have is the 92A bushings and the 100A bushings. I'm going to put the 100As on the back and I'm going to put the 92As on the front. So my stiffness and configuration of my board should actually be much more similar to the latest board. And I think between that and the combination of the bigger wheels that I put on the board in the last video, I just think that, hopefully anyway, that I will see much more stability and like just an overall improvement in how the board handles when I'm riding it. Changing out the bushings on an electric skateboard like this, or even just on a regular skateboard, is actually really straightforward and simple. You can see there's a nut here, and effectively you just take this off and the whole truck comes off and you can just swap these out really easily. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm going to show you how straightforward and simple that is. Alright, so that's my back truck done, and so far that was really easy to do. The only thing I had to be was a little bit careful when I was taking the truck on and off because of the cables, but it actually wasn't really difficult at all. The new bushings are in and I've tightened it down a good bit and it feels way stiffer than it did on the 90s. So that's really good, and to be honest, it is the back truck that's the most important for this job that I'm doing today. But I am going to just very quickly swap out these front bushings as well. Of everything that I've done with this electric skateboard and all of the kind of tweaks, that has been by far the most straightforward that I've done. Took like less than 5 minutes to do both the trucks. So the only thing now is I'm gonna go back down to Waterstown, which is where I have been testing this board out every time I've done something. And I'm gonna see what it's like with the heavier bushings. Okay, so I've just gone up the big hill right at the very start, no issues with that in speed 3. Secondly, I had to tighten the trucks up just a little bit once I got to the top of that hill because it was a little wobbly on the hill. Since I've done that, the board is so much better. I actually got it to like 27 going downhill, like it's 27 kilometers per hour going down a hill there. So the board is handling so much better than it had been previously. I'm going to tighten the trucks up just a tiny little bit more. Not sure if it's wobbling from the front or from the back. The back of it's definitely much stiffer than it's ever been before. I had the back completely tightened as hard as it could go on the 90s, but it was still really kind of squirrely and wobbly. Whereas just with the way it is at the moment, I'm pretty sure I can tighten it more, but it's been really stiff, and it's definitely making me feel much happier and much safer traveling at speed on the board. And the front of it could still just be a little bit looser than it was on the old bushings, because I'm not sure, like I had those quite tight, so it could actually be with the 92As that they're a little too loose and the 90s were much tighter. So with that kind of factored in, I think the front might still be a little bit too loose for me right now, so I'm just going to give that another like turn or two. Okay, so I've tightened them both up a little bit more. I could actually still tighten the back one more than it is, but I don't want to tighten it up as tight as it can go, because I don't think that's great for the bushings. But I've tightened both the front and the back trucks just that little bit more, so I'm going to see what it feels like now. I was traveling at 30 kilometers an hour. It actually hit 31 at one point. Not sure if it got beyond that, but already like I was filming and traveling at 31 kilometers an hour, whereas before I think 31 was the fastest I'd gotten to at any point on the board. So that's awesome. I just feel so much happier with this thing right now. I'm not going to tighten the trucks up anymore. I'm going to leave them as they are, and I'm just going to kind of get used to riding with this configuration, because it's just such an improvement compared to what I had with the 90As front and back. Like, it has really transformed the stiffness of the ride. The other thing is the board is way more comfortable. My leg isn't cramping up at all. I just feel much more relaxed on the board. Just really happy in general with riding this thing. I feel like I could actually go for a long distance now. I know I keep saying this in all my videos, that I could go for kind of like a long distance and I want to go to work or whatever. I do want to do that, but I actually feel like super confident right now. Obviously, again, I'm in a park, the surfaces are generally pretty good, so I do need to kind of take it out on like proper roads and stuff and see what that's like, but already this is awesome. Definitely feel like the board has been transformed. One thing that I noticed was when I was around in the park, my leg didn't cramp up at all. Whereas I was saying in my last video that like my right calf has a tendency to cramp up when I'm on the board. That didn't happen once while I was down in the park, but really happy with what the bushings have done to the board. So just very quickly, like I've changed the wheels and I've changed the bushings now on the board, and of all the things that I've done so far, definitely the bushings have been the most transformative. They've definitely made the biggest overall difference, but the board is just great for cruising around on now, and really like it's definitely usable as a mode of transport now. So yeah, I just kind of have to play with the board a little bit more, get used to it, figure out kind of the range and kind of how far I can go and that kind of thing. That's all for another day, because it's going to start raining in a few minutes. So that's why I'm back in and I'm not doing any more tests on the board today. So were the bushings worth buying? I would say absolutely. Like, they were only $15 each, and so I think that came to like €12 each or something for me. I bought 2 packs. I bought obviously the 92As for the front, and I bought the 100As for the back. So like that's $30. It was free shipping, so I think it cost me like €22 or something all in. 100% it was worth buying them. They have completely transformed how the board performs, and I just can't wait to ride it more. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this video here. I hope you've liked it. If you do, please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys in my next video.